Okay, so I'm going to do my next Cataphractii Terminator, and I'm going to do this guy with a Stone Bolter and a Power Fist. So we're going to start off over here, and it's going to be 21, 22 and 23. Hoping that I've got pretty good at these. I can do this one a bit faster. And as always, while I'm putting this together, I'm just going to talk and pretend I actually know the really know stuff about the Horus Heresy era. I think I know a fair bit of it. And one thing that I've been doing is that I've kind of been looking into the Imperial Fists in a bit more detail. I've never really been interested in a lot in the past, to be quite honest, and that's partly because I've never really been a good guy, and when I have been on the quote good side, which as we know in Warhammer is subject to kind of intense debate about who the good guys actually are, but we're going to call the Imperium the good guys for now. Anyway, yeah, the only time I've actually been interested in the Imperium, strangely enough, I'm not that big on Space Marines, except for Chaos Space Marines, and my biggest personal love is obviously the grey areas, and I mean the proper grey area Space Marines, like the Dark Angels. You know, I love that kind of yeah, some of the Fallen are definitely turned to chaos, but has that happened because they wanted to, really wanted to, because they had very little choice? You know, they don't have many places to run to. Anyway, so that tends to be, and even then, oddly enough, when I did a Dark Angels force years and years and years ago, I actually made them very bright and colourful. I actually made them yellow and silver, and came up with my own fluff. Okay, so next I'm going to pick my body. So number 5 here is the one that I'm after. Ooh. Hold on, I'm off. And any of the 7s around the back. Obviously, I've made my life easier and actually colour coded them so that it's just less faffing around when I've actually started building them. Yeah, so I've been looking into the Imperial Fists a bit more, and I'm starting to actually like them, you know, more than I used to. They always used to be just far too prim and proper for my liking. Obviously, everyone knows, or at least most people seem to know, who look into the Imperial Fist pretty quickly, the story of how he didn't want his legion shattering at the end. He was very against it, and it almost brought him into open conflict with Guilliman. But he finally agreed to split his force down into chapters, of which one were the Crimson Fists, who are Alexis Polis. He was given all the younger recruits because he was very much a father figure. I actually like reading about Alexis in one of the Horus Heresy novels, or quite a few of them, when he's kind of stuck on Ultramar. And I am curious, as the stories are properly written, whether or not he will actually be partly responsible for convincing Dawn to split his units down, because he spent time on Ultramar. And that's part of the inspiration for doing a combination of Night Lords and Imperial Fists, because I kind of want to recreate that beautiful force, that the battle basically between the Night Lords and the Imperial Fists. I'm going to have to remember the name of the planet. I can't quite remember the name of that planet. I love the end of that book, though, where they blow up that great big beacon and it sends off a massive shockwave that kind of awakens the Tyranids to make them aware of where the Milky Way galaxy is. Anyway, okay, 58 and 59 here, so all of these Stormbolters have the same designation. Anyway, so I'm finding Imperial Fists quite an interesting group now, and I'm really reading up on them. Trying to find out a bit more about them and understand them. I have read the Soul Drinker, the entirety of the Soul Drinker omnibus though, so I'm very aware of their position on the phalanx. Massive beast of a ship. That interesting sort of story of corruption and redemption, which works really well for the Soul Drinkers. Okay, where are we up to? Now I need an arm for this one, so I forgot which side the Stormbolter goes on now. The Stormbolter goes on the right hand, doesn't it? Yeah, the right hand. So where's my right hand there? There it is. Number 47 I'm using. In fact, I haven't read much of the new 40k novels, and I really need to, because it's my understanding that Gulliman agreed to reinstate the Soul Drinkers as a legion, which means that someone must know of their true lineage. Okay, getting there. I think with these little ones, you've really got to make sure you give the glute breathing space so it sits on nicely. Right, I'm going to take any actual power fist here. So there's so many different power fists to choose from that it doesn't really matter which one you go for in this case. So obviously we've got one like this which is kind of pointing. Sometimes you just got to kind of have a look at the miniature, and that pointing arm is just not going to work for this one. It's pointing in the wrong direction for the kind of miniature, so I'm probably going to pick one in a more prone position. So 54 over here looks nice. It's a lot of, like, it's, I suppose the best way to describe a lot of this is there's a lot of curves to this armour, and yet at the same time it feels blocky. And I think that's in part, I'm not sure which came first, this Cataphractii or the Taurus pan. Again, I'm going to have a good look at that and see. Okay, so I've got my power fist here. Again, I'm still confused why there's why there's like this on it, and yet there's no, you know, it looks like a pinhole, but there's no pin. So weird. I mean, it could potentially be to place a little magnet in, or if you can find a little magnet, maybe you could easily put a magnet in there, making it possible to really make this kit versatile. You can just strip off the bolter and fist arms and just pop on the lightning claws for when you want a close quarter fight. There we go, that looks nice. Yeah, I think I was right not to put that pointing hand on, because he looks like he's going in the right direction there, doesn't he? Okay, head choices. So over here I'm going to go for number 10. You can see it's, I mean, there's like little differences between each helmet, but there's not so much that, you know, it's usually more the way the grills are, but I suppose there's not a lot of area to play with at the top of this helmet because it's so embedded in. Oh, okay, let's see where I want to position that head. So with this one, I'm finding it quite interesting because his positioning is quite nice. I really want to get this head in the right position. Yeah, it's kind of like, depending on which way you set the body and the head, he could probably be looking in different directions, couldn't he? So I think that's actually quite good with this one here. Okay, now onto the part that I really hate doing, and it's these shoulder pads here. They just feel so uncertain about where you're supposed to fit them. So my personal belief is that you put the number 60 on, see where it feels like it naturally sits on the model. So this 60 goes on the right side. And it kind of fits. Now the key thing about this is just to begin with, just make sure that it covers the tassels on both sides, regardless of where it fits. So as long as it's covering those tassels, that should be fine. Try and keep obviously the top of the arc towards the center, but as I said, they just kind of feel like they naturally find a position to sit in. And then go get myself a 61 from over here. This is for our left side. Again, making sure that it kind of feels online, covers the tassels. And then I can move on to doing 62 and 63. So starting off with 62 to put it on the right. And again, when I'm putting this down, I think the best thing to do is follow where that part is. So I know it's hard to see, but if you look carefully there, you line them up, I tend to find that that creates the best positioning for this. So I definitely feel like that's best, and then it kind of raises that plate slightly above. Right, I'm going to go grab myself a 63. See, after I've done these Terminators, I'm onto one of the biggies, aren't I? I've got to do the Contemptor Dreadnought, and then I've got to do the thing I'm really looking forward to, because I haven't done one in ages. Land Raider, the classic style Land Raider, the Spartan. Now, obviously, significantly extended compared to the old one, but nonetheless absolutely gorgeous. I love the old Land Raider. I like the new Land Raider, it's not that I have an issue with it, but I'll go into that when I'm actually building the thing. I think the best way to describe it is with Chaos Space Marines, I like old, not new. I want to feel like they've been at this long war for a very long time. Come on, go on. This one definitely doesn't feel like it wants to go in there, but there we go, I've managed it. Right. Okay. Fiddly little shield that goes on the front of each one of them. So, oh, let me find it over here. Number 66. Try and get this thing on. I'm finding that the best way to put these on sometimes is to kind of hold them in a kind of downwards positioning as you do it, just to get the damn thing in there. And then you can fiddle around with it from here. Here we go. It's gone on nicely. Don't know. I normally drop those all the time. I normally have hell getting them on. Okay, pop him on his base, and there we go. Cataphractii, Power Fist, Stormbolter.